Let's take a look at Mathspace. As always, I've launched the Google Chrome Equatio extension so I can see that my menu is open down below. To access Mathspace, I can do it one of two ways. The first is right here on the toolbar. I click Insert Mathspace and a new tab will open, and you can see that it will open with a grid pattern where I can add different things in. The other way to access Mathspace is by going directly to equatio.texthelp.com, and here I can create math spaces that I can make assignments and have students submit. The other difference between going directly to Mathspace and accessing it within a Google Doc is that you can have multiple panels. So you'll notice on the left-hand side I can add different panels in. If I were doing an assignment and I wanted students to look at multiple things, I would be able to do that. As opposed to the one that I accessed through the Google document, you'll notice there is no side panel. Let's take a look at a couple of the different uses that you could use Mathspace for. So the first would be if you're making a worksheet. Maybe you start a Google document, or right here in the Google document, you launch Mathspace, and you use the different shapes to create a worksheet for students where they have to identify certain things about shapes. Once you've got the things in your Mathspace the way that you want them, click this Insert button in the upper right-hand corner, and it'll take that information and it'll put it in the Google document, which of course will be easy for you to print. If you've made a mistake and you want to modify what you've done, of course with Equatio you just select it, you choose Edit Math, and you go back into the Mathspace, and you can move something around or change it, whatever it is that you want to do, and reinsert, and it will go back into the Mathspace. Now this one, I did 3 things within one Mathspace, but if I want to do a new Mathspace, I can. That will open back up, and it will give me a blank document that I can then create more shapes. I'm going to just close out of that for now. So that's the use where maybe you're making something printable that you want students to work on. The other scenario is when you go directly to a Mathspace, not working within a Google Doc, because you want to give students something that they can work on individually and manipulate on their individual device. Let me show you what I mean. So I've added a couple of slides on the left here. So my first slide, I want students to be working with coins, and maybe they're learning how to count. And maybe I'm going to bring in an image of a piggy bank and tell them that they have to make different change. One thing that you can do with Mathspace is do this thing called Infinite Cloner. And what that does is it allows students, when they are working on this, to have an infinite amount of these items available that they can drag and do things with. And we'll look at that in a minute from the student perspective. Down here, let's do, maybe we'll do base 10 blocks. So here are all these base 10 blocks. And I'm going to infinitely clone all of these. And then lastly, we'll go down here and we will do pattern blocks. Okay, so all things have been infinitely cloned. So once I've got my Mathspace the way that I want it, I can assign it to my students by selecting this share icon in the upper right-hand corner. So in the upper right-hand corner, I'm going to select the sharing type of make a copy for each person and expect a response, which will mean each student can get their own link and then submit it so that you can see their work. So I click continue. And it's going to create this unique link which can be posted in Schoology for students to be able to work on. So right now I'm going to copy that link and toggle over to a student view so we can see what it looks like from their point. So perhaps we talked before about maybe you brought a piggy bank in, or maybe you're verbally telling students, okay, we're going to make some change. I want each of you to drag the coins and make 37 cents. So students can grab as many coins as they need to make what they want. Now, if they drag too many, that's fine. They can just delete out what they don't want by clicking the trash can up here and make whatever it was. I think I said 37 cents, 25.35. And they can manipulate the coins without having to have actual physical coins with them, and they can practice making different amounts. Now the same thing is true for base 10 blocks. Maybe you ask them to count a certain number, make 32, and they are able to drag over and create whatever it is that they need. And then the same thing works with the shapes. So the cool thing about infinite cloning is it allows students the ability to drag and drag and drag and create and manipulate and move things around the page into whatever configuration it is that they need. So when they're done, if they need to submit, they click this submit button in the upper right hand corner, and it's going to send the assignment to your Equatio as the teacher so that you can see what it was that they completed. So it says your work has been shared back to your teacher. If we go back to the teacher view, we'll get out of here, and we go back to our dashboard. So if I go to assignments, here's that assignment that I did, and I can see it has a little 1 there for 1 response. And here is my student, so I can click on their name, and then I'm able to see what it was that they completed. And over here, if I want to, I can give them a grade and some feedback and send it back to them. Unfortunately, Mathspace does not automatically integrate with Schoology where you could put a grade here and it would go into your grade book. But you are able to, within the Mathspace, have assignments and look at the responses when students submit